Okay, I think we're
Yeah.
live.
Okay.
Hello,
And we'll
everyone.
see. Yeah.
I don't know if there is anyone in the chat.
I'm not
Hello.
sure. Hello, is anyone there? Oh, you.
Yeah, that's me.
Where do I type? Any
Don't you see on the side where you can type?
on the side?
Post a
Let me
comment or
see.
whatever.
Let's see. Maybe not. That's interesting.
Ah, yeah.
Hi.
Hi. So you can see the comments, but you cannot comment.
Yeah, I can't see a comment area. That's interesting.
That's weird.
Hello. Yeah, let me keep looking. I see private
You-
chat. Private chat has an option.
okay, so you don't have on the comments?
Yeah, I have it on the private chat. Is there like something that is there like a setting? Maybe only the moderator can answer
Oh,
right now,
maybe
or
that.
is there a
Maybe.
setting? Maybe.
I don't know. I cannot
So
see it.
hi
But
guys, it's my
hi.
first live, so
We're
trying
trying
to
to
figure
figure out
stuff out.
things.
Yeah.
So maybe what you can do is actually to open a YouTube video, but turn off the sound. So if you want to
Okay,
answer to the
I'll
chat.
give that a shot. I'll give that a
How's
shot.
everyone doing while we're figuring things out?
Yeah, yeah. Hi, Jolyn.
Hi there.
Don't mind me.
It's okay. We have time. I guess that live we can
Yeah.
stream for 2 hours on this one. Hi
Okay.
there. Hello. Oh my gosh, so many people. I
Oh,
wasn't expecting.
hi guys.
Hi
I know this
everyone.
is great. Hi Gryffindor, Bookworm, Arcade Gold. How you doing?
We're
I'm
doing
I'm trying to
great.
work on my chat feature.
Yeah, this is my first time hosting a
Are
live.
we?
This is what?
My first time in a live, so hold on.
Okay, so
Hold on, I finally got the live up on YouTube. I'll mute it.
okay.
So I'm
Perfect.
doing great, Arcade Gold. Yeah. I'm glad you're doing well too.
So, Wolves, I think you know me because this is my channel. So I will let Maid introduce herself. How do you want me to call you? Maid, Taylor?
You can call me Taylor. That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. So, yeah, guys. Hi, guys. So, I'm working on my chat feature. This is my first time on a chat, so bear with me. But my name is Taylor. My channel is Made Between the Pages, and I can call you Sasha. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Sasha has been wonderful, and she offered to do a live with me. So, I'm really excited to meet new people, and chat with you guys. So we're going to be talking about the owls and our progress so far. And let us know what you're up to, what you're reading. Anything
Okay,
you
I
want to
have a.
say?
I. Wait. I'm good. Been lazy today. Haven't really done anything except watching some booktube. Well, that's doing something and it's time consuming. So well done.
Yeah, absolutely. Catching up.
Um,
My watch later list is depressingly long. So
Oh my gosh, last week I had like 300 videos to watch. I was like, oh my gosh. But guess what I discovered last week? I think it was
oh
last week.
no.
This week, I don't know. You can actually watch some videos and
Mm.
change the speed of the videos. I was like, what? So yeah, it helps. I'm okay,
Yeah, you
finally.
just yeah, 2 times speed is amazing. I have way more to do than I thought.
Nah,
I hope
isn't
you
it
can get it
boring?
all done. Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, someone's currently reading Wheel of Time as
Oh,
well.
I haven't read
Oh,
that
you're
one.
champ. Hey. So I'm currently reading Wheel of Time. Man, good for you. I haven't started that series yet, but as a fantasy lover, I hope to get to it.
Mm.
I hope it works for you. The YouTube page is frozen, so this is good progress.
But just watch the one on StreamYard because there is a delay. So you
Mm.
can check
Mm
the
mm mm.
But yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
just waiting for the comments to load on the page and then I'll mute it. But for now, I'll
uh,
just react verbally, okay, guys?
I have one more book for the owls. Good for you. How many books did you have to read?
Yeah, yeah, that's impressive. And good for you for sewing masks. I
Yeah.
really almost spoke Japanese there. I really respect that.
Okay, if you start
You're doing
speaking
that.
Japanese, I will not understand anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally didn't mean to go for that there.
So Gryffindor Bookworm said, aha, I actually decided not to do owls this year, but still love getting to hear all of. Yeah, so Taylor, this is your first time doing the owls, right?
Yeah, yeah, it is. And is it yours or you've done it before?
No, this is my third time. I'm an OG,
Third time,
like,
right.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah, it started 3 years ago, right?
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. I've been following Book Rose like G for ages since the very beginning.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's my first time. It's my first readathon actually. So
Oh,
I'm really
really?
enjoying it. Yeah, yeah. So I was kind of a lurker on BookTube for about 2 years, and I didn't really participate in anything.
Yeah,
So
that's good.
this is me striking out. Mm.
I have been playing too much
Oh,
Animal Crossing. Everyone has been playing Animal Crossing.
right. The
Yeah.
sales of that are through the roof, man.
Yeah. At one point, there was
Oh, an
no like
audiobook while you're
Switch.
playing.
Oh, yeah.
Availability. Mm.
Yeah. It's 5
Yeah,
a.m.
I
here.
mean, good for you. That's a good way to read an audiobook. Typos will happen. I respect that. That's how thanks for joining us, even though it's 5 a.m., really. Oh, I see your previous comment that RK Gold said that Daniel Green brainwashed you into reading the Wheel of Time. I feel you on that.
I decided to try and read the 12 prompts. I know I'm a bit crazy. Actually, I picked 12 books as well. So
Oh
I'm
my
crazy too.
gosh.
Yeah.
Respect. Oh
Yeah.
my
I don't know how
gosh.
I'm going to do, but.
How many do
Um,
you have left?
5.
Five. Whew.
I have 5
I went for
left.
the five left. I went for the Hogwarts professor career, so I have 7 books on the prompt. But then I added a challenge, my retro reads book challenge, where I read an older booktube favorite, and I pulled Name of
Mm.
the Wind, which is a thick boy. So
It's like
yeah,
people picking the Priory of the Orange Tree for a readathon. I'm just like, it's over
yeah.
1,000 pages. Wow, good for you.
Lofty dreams. Well, when I say I pick, I mean I put all the names in a cup, and that's the one I picked out. So fate wanted me to read an extra 722 pages. So we'll see.
Oh my gosh. 6 hours already, and you needed 3? Wow,
Wow.
that's amazing. I don't.
Overachieving. Good for you.
Remember in the Lizzie McGuire movie when Ethan Kraft said he's done his summer reading and his teacher was like, "You read 12 books," and he said, "I read the list." I don't remember that.
I remember that. Am I dating myself?
Oh,
Oh man. Yeah, I do remember that.
oh, Wolves, you're insane. How
Wow.
fast are you reading?
8 so far. Wow. Respect, man. Respect. I think I have how many do I have left on by 7? I have three left. So respect, man.
5 books for owls. 2 of them are for my career. Yeah. So you went for the professor career, and you
Yes.
guys, did you pick any career? Because
Yeah, that's a good question.
I picked a trader of magical tomes. Last year
Mm.
I did Curse Breaker. I I think. And 3 years ago, there
Mm.
were no career guide kind of thing, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna be a magizoologist, and I'm gonna pick that prompt. So I made it up.
Okay. Well, there's no actual rules, right?
No.
So,
Who want to be
I want to
magic?
be
Oh, okay.
Minister of Magic. Going for all 12.
uh,
Oh,
just decided to read all of the prompts. Tree, really. Yeah. Let's say we are lucky to have
yeah.
books.
Yeah. Seriously. I mean, I've seen a lot of people like, I don't know what to do with myself now that I'm stuck at home. But only BookTube is like, wait a minute, like I finally have time. I have too many to read, right?
Yeah, but actually, I haven't read that much since.
Mm, since you've
I
been
mean,
home.
yeah, because I work full time, so I'm like, and overtime. So yeah, so
Right.
herbologist, solid choice. Ah,
Mm-mm.
there is another trader of magical tomes this year. Last year I did librarian, also fun.
Yeah. Something tells me you like books.
No.
No, I don't know why I would think that.
As an
So
herbologist.
YouTube is not loading, so I'm gonna leave the comments to you, okay? It's
Okay,
probably not.
but you
It's
can
like
see them, I think.
frozen, so
Oh,
I can see them. I just can't make my own. So
yeah. As an herbologist, I have to ask. Come on.
I'm sure they have many other varieties to choose from. I'm sure it's
Especially
not the garden variety we have here.
no. I try to read all the hours prompts so that I can decide what career when I read the newt prompts. Yeah. Have you guys already like set up a TBR for your newts or thinking about the newts or whatever? Because that's gonna be scary. If you picked now like 12 books, like there is a
Mm,
is it alchemist? You have to read 12 books in order to become an alchemist. Well, you can have up
okay.
to 36 books in August.
Oh my god! For the newts, I knew that the newts were harder, but I was like, I'm not. I'm just not gonna look at it. But now you got me thinking. I should probably check that out.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have the guide here, so I cannot tell. But I know I picked something. Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good question. Like, oh, she picked Mage of Visual Art
Mm,
and Miracle Linguistic. Yeah, I love the.
mm.
What's the name of it?
The
Like,
like certificates.
yeah, I like that one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so you picked
It's a really cool idea.
your career like as
Mm.
a professor because you wanted that career or because you looked at the prompt and the books you had?
I think, well, what I did is I narrowed it down to three. I was thinking about Cursebreaker, or Auror, or the Hogwarts Professor. And then I looked at the prompts and I saw that the Hogwarts Professor was like, you have to read two specifically, and then you can pick whatever you want after that. I was like, that's the one. So, kind of a combination of the two. How did you,
Yeah.
I mean, you picked 12, but you still picked a career. So, how did you go for that? How did you pick it?
I just checked all the new careers G created and I picked that one.
Mm.
As simple as that. And then, okay, I checked some of the books. I was like, okay, do I have books for the four main, subjects I will have to go for? Yes, okay, let's do this. That's it. Because I only have four. I need four to pass. So,
Oh, okay. Well, that's child's play for you, girl. You got that.
yeah, hope
Also,
so.
Gryffindor bookworm. I see you with the Lizzie McGuire reference. I'm glad I'm not the only one dating myself.
Yeah. Oh my
Oh
God.
man.
So, what have you read so far? Did you like? No, we want to know everything.
All right, all right. Well, let's start with what I have read. So the first book I read was, I actually brought them because I did my homework, but I have a Thousand Beginnings and Endings. So this is like a short story collection based on Asian myths. and I did
Mm-hmm.
this for the Transfiguration. So there's always like shapeshifting in Asian myths. So I picked this book for that. Clearly, I liked it because you can see the tabs. But
Oh, you tap your
I
books.
really, oh, always, yeah. Unless they're library books, then you know what are you gonna do?
Mm.
Oh, hold on. YouTube just gave me a lag. Let me get rid of that video. Okay. So yeah, so I really enjoyed this. I'd love to in the comments if anyone has heard of this or read this. I'd love to hear what you thought because I really enjoyed it. Yeah. What about you? What's a book that you've read? You can go one by one.
Okay. So the first one. Okay, let's go with the one I have on my pile here. I've read Parasite. So this is a manga, and it was
Oh.
for Transfiguration. So at the very beginning, I thought it was a book about people having some kind of abilities and they could like shape shift some part of their bodies. But actually, no, this is
Mm.
all about a parasite coming from up there somewhere. And
Mm-hmm.
they're trying to find like a host and they enter people's body. And some parts
Mm.
can shapeshift. And I'm really loving it. It's a bit like I loved it. It's a bit gross if you don't
Mm.
like weird part changing kind of thing. But I really enjoyed
Yeah.
it. So and manga
Mm.
fast.
Yeah. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. I think I did mention when on your video that that's my boyfriend. For those of you who don't know, I
Yeah.
live in Japan, and my boyfriend's Japanese. That's his favorite of like all time. So he's a big fan of it. So I'm really glad you enjoyed it. Oh,
So
hey. Mm.
okay, someone wants to check out that book you mentioned.
That's great. That makes me so happy to hear. I really do recommend it. As with all short story collections, you know, some stories were for me, some weren't. So maybe the same for you. But it's one of the best I've read, where I would say maybe 80% of the stories were highly enjoyable. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I do not know if my transfiguration pick involves shape shifting, so we'll leave that to the end. Actually, that's sometimes the issue when you have to pick books for a certain prompt because you don't know if
Right.
there is actually a witch in it, you don't know if there is transfiguration, you don't know if there is some kind of, I don't know, magic or animal, whatever. So sometimes it can be hard actually to pick a book.
Yeah, I agree. Especially if, like, you know, you could have a transfiguration in the sense of a side character that isn't mentioned, you know? So you realize retroactively, wait a minute, this could have worked. So, you know, good
Yeah.
luck
And then,
finding one.
yeah. And then sometimes you ask people, and
Mm.
sometimes I feel scared to answer because the answer is actually a spoiler, and you're just like,
Right.
what should I do? Like, maybe?
Maybe follow your heart. If your heart says yes, then go for
Yeah.
it, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Okay.
Let's see. Next, what did I read next? Next, I have a book that I'm sure everyone will recognize, but for the Care of Magical Creatures, I went with Crescent City. Where's the beak? There it is, the tiny little beak there. um, so, you know, I actually uploaded a video on my channel, but doing a whole review of this, but I was pleasantly surprised by this book. Have you read it, Sasha?
No. So you new here. You know, you joined BookTube 3 weeks ago. I
Right.
hate Sarah Jim.
This is going to be a great conversation. Oh, I'm so excited.
No, I tried Throne of Glass, absolutely hated
Mm,
it.
yeah.
I then I read the sequel, Crown of Midnight, hated it. Then Hair of
Mm,
Fire, DNF'd it. And
mm,
because I
mm, mm.
forced myself to read that series, I ended up in the middle of reading slump for almost 2 months. And
Oh
so now I'm
no.
yeah, now I'm scared to actually pick up Sarah Jima's book, etc. But the thing is
Mm,
that I didn't think that the Throne of Glass series was so bad. I just feel like if I had read that book like 10 years ago, I would have
yeah.
loved it. But now,
Right.
with everything else I've read, I just couldn't connect with the characters. But everyone
Yeah,
has
yeah.
been reading that book, so good for you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I see on the side, look at those sprayed edges. It's so pretty. That's
Yeah.
why I bought it. Actually, I myself am not a huge Sarah J. Maas fan. I wouldn't go so far as hate. I'm like lukewarm about her. So with the Throne of Glass series, I think I read the first like four, and I hated the first one, so I don't know
Oh,
why I forced myself to continue. But I liked it more towards the end, which I know is kind of not a popular opinion. And then I read the Court of Thorns and Roses series. The first one didn't like it. Second one loved it. Third one don't remember. So
yeah.
basically, like the sprayed edges and the beauty of this is why I decided to buy it, and
Mm.
I loved it. I was so
Yeah.
shocked. Yeah, so I really enjoyed this book. Heard a lot of mixed
Yeah.
reviews. This is silly. Oh,
I feel like there is always mixed reviews when there is a very overhyped book on BookTube.
right,
But
right. It is
yeah,
overhyped. I will say that.
where do you get your books? Is it easy
Good
to find
question.
English books in Japan?
No, not at
Okay.
all. Yeah, so I only have this edition because I may or may not have had a little bit of Japanese shochu one night, and I saw it on Waterstones, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna buy that. So this was way too expensive to ship to
Yeah.
Japan. But typically, I will get anything I really want from Book Depository, and then because it's free shipping. So either Book Depository or I buy them on Book Outlet, and then I ship them to my American home. And then when I go home and visit, I bring a couple back that I want to read. So it's like musical chairs with books.
Yeah.
So, well, what about you? You know, you're not in mainly English speaking country, so
No, 100% of my books are from Book Depository or Amazon. So
yeah,
yeah, I
right.
have one Amazon shop here in Belgium, but it's a very tiny one, and it focus on like other type of books, like not YA, not fantasy, not sci-fi, etc. Like more historical
Mm,
fictions or travel books, etc. So not really what I'm looking for. And there is also
right.
a bookstore named Fnac here that's very popular in Europe, but again,
Mm,
not many choices. So yeah, Book Depository and Amazon, definitely.
yeah.
Someone has a
Oh,
question for you.
oh, thank you. Do you have any upcoming readathons that you will participate in? That's a good question. Not sure. um, Obviously, the newts. I'm going to go for the newts because that's part of this readathon. But I really have enjoyed kind of more structured reading. I'm not really a mood reader. I typically do TBRs, but I've never done like a group thing before, and I'm really enjoying that aspect of it. So I'm assuming I'll at least do one or two more. Do you have any recommendations? Put them in the comments. I'll keep an eye out to look for them. And what about you? Are you doing any? Sasha? Any more on your plans?
So in May, like I don't know if you know that, but every 2 months I film a video with the upcoming readathons. So everyone send me DMs, etc. So I know what's going on more or less.
Hmm.
So I'm always kind of up to date. But the one I'm gonna go for in May is actually the Believathon
Oh,
from Gav 77,
okay.
and
Okay.
it's basically middle grade books. So I
Ah,
discovered middle grade books with
is
him,
that
and
is that How to Train Your Gavin? Is that his YouTube
yes,
name?
yes.
Oh, okay, got it, got it.
So
Okay.
him and Jade over at Jade Rereads, they read a lot of middle grades, and that's basically
Hmm.
basically where I get all my recommendation from.
Hmm.
And so I'm gonna do that one in May, and in
Ooh.
June actually I'm gonna host my first ever readathon, like co-host.
Oh my
Ishi,
gosh.
yeah, Ishi asked me to join her for the Olympic Games. Sorry, it is based on Percy Jackson, and
Okay.
I've never read any Percy Jackson book, so
Yeah.
no, there is no need for that. So you can join. So that could be interesting. But there are so many readathons every single month. So
Well, what was it? Sule Poo, you asked me? That Olympic one. I'll be doing Sasha's. I just decided. So
yeah.
I actually tried to read Percy Jackson for the first time last year. And it's
Mm,
one of those things where like I feel like you've missed the Harry Potter train.
yeah.
It's understandable that it's not gonna hit you that way. I felt
Mm,
that way about them. Like they were good, but I think if I had read them as a kid I would have loved them kind of thing.
yeah.
So
Mm,
you can easily buy English language ebooks using UPN. Ah, I don't dislike ebooks at all. I'm definitely open to getting them that way, but I don't want to buy a book twice. So I typically will get it from a library. I use what's the word? Libby. I use the app Libby, and I usually read it for free, and then I'll purchase it. So typically, so I'm not opposed to ebooks though if I don't need it physically. Thanks for
Mm.
the advice. I appreciate that.
The majority of my books are from subscription boxes or by ebooks on Amazon. Yeah, I forgot. I have books from subscription boxes as well. Um,
Yeah. I have a couple questions about those actually. Since like
yeah.
I told you I was a lurker for a while, so I've seen a lot of like, unboxings and things like that, but I've never gotten a subscription box myself. So what are you subscribed to, or is there one that you recommend more than others, or
Knowing that you're in Japan, I don't know how much it's going to cost you.
yeah,
uh,
that's true.
but I tried so many. But my favorite one is actually Unplugged Book Box.
Okay, heard
Um,
of that.
because the difference with other boxes is that the creator of the box is focusing on self-care, mental health, etc. So I
Mm,
love what she's doing, and every single month she actually creates like a playlist you can listen to while listening to the book or whatever
mm,
that matches the theme.
mm,
So I really do love that box, and also everything you're gonna get are
mm.
usable items.
Nice. Oh, I love that because one thing that's kind of kept me away is I'm not a plushy person. I'm not like a pillow person. So
Mm.
hearing that that's usable, you may have just sold me on that if shipping is reasonable. That's
So yeah, but
a
I
big
was
if.
subscribed to Fairy Loot. I got some Illumi Create as well. I got Shelf Love Create as well. I mean, so many like Moonlight. I mean, so many, so many, so many. But
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
Unplugged is the one I'm gonna stick with.
Okay. Thanks for that. I appreciate that.
So
Let's
okay,
see.
I
What
lost
else
where
do
I
I
was in
have?
the comment. Here, I'm thinking about Asian readathon next month. Yeah, by Read with Cindy.
Oh, Reva Cindy has an Asian readathon? I
Yep.
love that girl. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
I'm definitely drawn to anything Asian because of where I live, so down for that.
um, I'm going. Okay, I'm doing the Believe It on Olympic Games. Thank
Hey,
you.
you have two members already. Look at you, girl. 2 months in advance.
Thank you. Yeah, you have time to set up a TBR. We don't even have the prompts, etc. So, but it's gonna be a team thing. So we're gonna be
Okay.
four, I think, four different teams. Yeah, with four different gods or goddess. So I don't know who I'm
Hmm.
gonna be, but I'm gonna try to dress up. So could be
Oh
cool.
my gosh. I'm so into that. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't need to read the Percy Jackson books to actually participate in that. That's what I love. Like every time I see a very cool readathon, I'm scared that I'm going to miss on some
Mm,
things because because I simply haven't read the books or the series. So I'm like,
mm.
this time, no. It's just like maybe I'm the only one who will be participating in that without reading the books, but who cares?
Yeah. Not clearly not.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there is also the mental health readathon in May,
Oh.
hosted by Nicole, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken. And yeah, I got that one. It's gonna be in my next video somewhere.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be watching that. I think everyone could use some mental health love
Mm,
nowadays. So.
yeah. Bookish boxes are way too expensive for me. Also, the shipping to the Netherlands is mostly not worth it. Yeah, but there
Yeah.
is used to be a box named Chest Chest Crate that was from
Okay.
Germany, and it was like less expensive, but doesn't exist anymore. But yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually got to try Unplugged Book Box recently and really loved it. I will definitely get more of their boxes in the future. And the thing with that
All
box
right.
is that actually have the YA and the adult version, so you can pick.
Oh, yes.
So yeah, because we're
Between
all
the
reading
two.
like most of the time YA, but they also have very good adult picks. And even in the
Mm.
YA, I got a few fantasy and sci-fi, if I'm not mistaken. No sci-fi. But the thing is that I mostly read fantasy and sci-fi because I'm not a
Mm.
contemporary type of person.
Girl,
But
me too.
but the books that they are actually picking are interesting. Like there was one November by
Mm.
Catherine Van Damme, I think, and it has to
Okay.
do with cult. So the main character from that story is actually a little girl who wants to save her brother because her mom get involved in some kind of cult, and she believes
Mm.
that on November 15th, for instance, they're all gonna leave heart behind. You know what I mean? So all
Oh,
their
okay.
not fantasy books have a very interesting topic. So that's why I love that box as well. And they're not always picking,
Yeah.
like sometimes one box gonna pick a book and you're gonna have five boxes picking exactly the same
Mm.
book. Sorry, not
Right, right.
so
So
yeah.
it's not like it's just like a different version or different sprayed edges of the same book, right? But the book that you just told me right there sounds really intriguing to me. I have
Mm.
a morbid fascination with cults.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just think that they're so interesting. I mean, from afar, they're interesting to read about or watch documentaries about or whatever. So that sounds really interesting to me. Also,
Yeah.
I'm sorry if anyone can hear the wind. My window is cracked and it just decided to act up. So just letting you know.
Yeah. So unplug book box on with the shipping. Yeah, the shipping is the main issue I feel with bookish
Yeah,
boxes. But Unplugged
I
is doing
feel you
something
all.
great because when they started shipping like 2 years ago,
Mm,
and the shipping was way more expensive then, and now they got
okay.
a deal for worldwide shipping. So they're trying
Oh,
to less that price every little while. So they're doing their best, but that's not up to them.
okay. Well, if that's an opportunity, I'll be on that because I feel your pain, Leanne Reads.
Yeah.
I feel your pain.
I would love bookish boxes, but maybe when I'm a bit bigger on booktube, it will be worth it. I think it's for you.
Hmm.
I
I mean, I can see. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. You
No,
continue.
go ahead. I talk a
Uh,
lot.
oh, okay. No, no, no. That's cool. Um, so I can see what Sasha said that is definitely for you, but I also see this point when if you're big enough to get some money to put back into your channel, then you have that shipping money available. So I can see what she means about it being worth it, because you actually have the expendable money to put back in. But YouTube seems to be a really slow build, at least in my experience. Some people get really lucky with the algorithm, but it just takes a while, right? Get there.
Yeah,
So.
but I think it all depends. Like, I was a rep for Unplugged Book Box for 6 or 7 months. I cannot remember,
Mm,
and I had like 300 or 400 subscribers on YouTube. So it depends on your relationship, the relationship you actually
mm,
build with some brands. Because I got like earphones, etc., for free just because I was talking to them and I was recommending their products, etc. It's really about building relationships. It's not only about numbers. Yeah, for sure,
mm,
some people will get product easier for free
mm-hmm,
because they can show it to a bigger amount of people.
mm,
But what the brands are looking for nowadays, I feel, are more like authenticity and
mm.
passionate people who don't show
No.
up like 5,000 different things on their channel.
Well, that's good news. For sure,
Yeah.
that it's not all what it seems.
Yeah.
I believe it's your turn to tell us one more book you read.
Oh yeah.
You got another one
Um,
on your pile?
The Girl Who Drank the
Oh,
Moon. Read it for History of Magic. Finished it
okay.
yesterday, and I gave it 4 stars. It is
Oh,
middle grade fantasy, and it's basically the story of. Okay, how I'm gonna explain that. There is a village who every year will sacrifice one kid. So they're going to take the youngest kid in the village and they're going to leave that kid in the forest.
okay.
And they're doing that because they believe that the witch living there asks for this and that she will eat the kid or whatever. And what's going to happen is that the witch is actually going to that same place where they leave the baby, and she
Mm,
gonna bring that baby to another village. And on her way, to that village. She will feed the baby with starlight, which will give them
Oh.
some like they're gonna be super nice, they're gonna be super smart, they're gonna be like super friendly, etc. They have those kind of not abilities, but they will be like plus plus kids.
Mm,
And one day she's gonna be so tired that she's gonna feed Luna moonlight, and
mm,
moonlight gives magic, and that's where it
mm.
begins.
How whimsical.
Oh, so
Yeah,
good.
it's so whimsical. Like that sounds really enjoyable,
Oh
actually.
yeah.
And that's actually a perfect connection to what I'm currently reading, which is The Starless Sea. I mean, the star imagery in that, starlight and stars, which you can imagine from the title. I guess I'll grab that. But this is, what I'm reading now. It's a library book, but so no
Hmm.
tabs. But the star imagery sounds really similar. Like the idea of stars being something you can trade with, something you can bottle, something you can touch. And I really
Hmm.
like that imagery. So that book sounds really interesting to me, actually.
But do you usually read middle grade?
No, no, I
Mm,
don't. Yeah, yeah. So I think I would just have to reframe it, before I pick it up and just because I think it's unfair to go into a book expecting something that it's not, and then give
hmm.
it a lower not grade, a lower star rating for that. So from someone, I mean, you can see behind me, world building is my thing. Is
Hmm.
Brandon Sanderson. So
Yeah.
I think it'd be really important to reset, kind of like with Percy Jackson. I had to reset myself and be like, okay, this is a smaller world for good
Yeah.
reason, and then you can really enjoy it. So I think I could pick that up if I did that, but yeah, I don't know who's read this one, but where am I? I am page 317.
Okay.
And I read about maybe 200 pages of this today. And it's, how do I describe this book?
Go ahead.
Like, I don't know thanks. Thanks for the support. The best way to describe it is it's a boy or a man, I guess, who reads about himself in a book. And before he reads that book, he had a couple like whimsical or unique experiences that he kind of wrote off as childhood whimsy or a dream. And then it turns out that once he reads this book, it kind of sets in motion a lot of events that end up connecting to those whimsical things he thought were dreams before. And that's kind of the only plot I can say. This book is not plot driven. It's all about atmosphere. So if you've read The Night Circus and you loved the whimsical aspect, it's the same author. So that is full force here, But if you want fast paced, this happened, then this happened, this is not it. But
Yeah.
the writing is absolutely gorgeous. So far, I'm leaning towards a 4 stars, but who knows? The ending could blow me away and make it a 5 stars because the writing is just gorgeous. So,
Yeah. Someone gave it 5 stars.
oh, as I see, hopefully I'll join you on that list.
I give it 4 stars.
Okay, all
I
right.
was
So,
just
well,
at the end. I was confused.
I'm
I'm
still
not.
confused at points.
I'm not gonna say more because I don't want to spoil you, etc. or others.
Hmm.
But at the end, I wasn't sure I was reading.
There have been, how do I put, you know what? I was thinking earlier, this is more like a short story collection inserted into a novel. That's what this
Yeah.
book is.
Yeah.
It's just like it goes back and forth between short stories. And then they are, from what I'm seeing, they're all starting to connect together, but they're definitely definite, like separate entities.
Yeah.
So the reading style can be a bit jarring, I'm finding. Like, okay, who is who and what's what?
Yeah.
But maybe that's what she wanted.
Maybe, but I've noticed that last year, I think a lot of books came out and they were books about books. I don't know if you see what I
Yeah.
mean. Like, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, is it a new subgenre or where am I missing something? But
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of them
Yeah.
like came out. Like the one I read also
Mm.
is The Binding.
That
Uh,
cover. I want it just for the cover.
I got it for that same reason, but I forgot
Oh,
how many
really?
stars I give it. So I've read it for divination, so it was picked
Okay.
randomly, and
Mm.
I give it Doo-doo-doo-doo. Hmm. Come on. You can see I'm so prepared.
That's all right, girl. I got my prompts here because what prompt did I do for the Starless Sea? That was Defense Against the Dark Arts, right?
Oh,
At
Defense Against the
something
Dark.
at a coast.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I gave this book 3 stars.
Okay.
Uh, this is basically the story of a boy who one day will be asked to become a binder, so to bind books, kind of thing. And apparently, it's
Okay.
wrong because everyone can read, but no one wants to read a book because books are something you don't want to read. And
Interesting.
he's going to become the apprentice, he's going to be like a binder, etc. He's going to understand why people don't especially want to read books, why books are not something you want to create, kind of thing. I shouldn't say more because spoilers or
Okay.
whatever, but the thing is that I really loved the very beginning of the book. I loved the intrigue, etc. But then at what point it wasn't that anymore, it was focusing on something else, which I
Mm,
kind of appreciate, but I didn't like the
mm.
way it was done, so I lost interest actually. So
No. Yeah, I think when plots do 180s, it can be either it can rocket that to 5 stars or it can just
mhm.
completely, destroy your enjoyment. So that's a shame to hear it did that for you. But at least
Yeah.
it's a nice, beautiful thing on your shelf.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm
But
not gonna unhaul it or whatever. I'm gonna keep it because
yeah.
I still enjoyed it. But the thing is that I don't mind getting surprised and seeing that the actual ending of the plot, the ending of the book has nothing to do with the plot or the intrigue or the summary or whatever. But
Mm,
just keep that little thing from the beginning till the end. I don't know, but
yeah, consistency. Well, if
okay,
that's what brought you into it, makes
yeah,
sense. Oh,
okay. I missed so many comments, so I'm gonna
yeah.
go
Let's
through.
take a minute. Yeah.
Also, Sasha, your channel have been growing a lot lately. Proud of you. Thank you, but this is not. This has nothing to do with me.
Yeah, no, yes, it does. You have great content. I second that. You deserve it,
Thank
girl.
you. It's just that something happened on Twitter and Cindy shut me out. So that's
Mm.
how people actually discovered my channel. So I didn't beat the algorithm or anything. I was lucky that someone shouted me out. So that's the
Well,
reason why.
people stay for your content. So,
Thank you. Yeah.
yeah.
Um, yeah, the algorithm is a pain, and I
Mm,
feel it's the same for Instagram, or maybe
mm,
other platform I'm not aware of. But it's just like, imagine you getting a notification every day of all the 100% you subscribe to. You know what I mean?
mm,
Like, so
mm-hmm.
YouTube makes choices, maybe not the right one, but they're making choices. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's why everyone, like, if you really don't want to miss any video from someone, just click on that bell button, enable all your notification, like YouTube notifications, so you're sure you don't going to miss anything. Because apparently if you miss one video of someone, you're not going to see that person in your feed anymore, only one video.
Mm,
So
right, right. Yeah, the
yeah.
algorithm I'm sure can be rough, and I mean I know it is. So, well, but the good thing about the BookTube communities, I'm finding that unlike maybe other communities, that even if you're small, you can really enjoy yourself. It really isn't about the number. BookTube is wonderful about letting you connect with people, even if you only have 10 people on your channel. You can really have good discussions with those 10 people. So that's been a really great revelation I've had ever
Yeah,
since
but
I
I think,
started.
I don't know how many um niche do have that, because booktube is really different from other
Hmm.
theme or whatever on YouTube. So we can work together, we can read together. And like,
Right.
I don't have anything against, for instance, the beauty channels, etc. But can you put makeup on your face while connecting with someone? You know what I mean? Like, here you can
Yeah.
read and talk to the person. So yeah.
Right. Readathons, good example.
Yeah.
Oh,
Question for you.
Taylor. Oh, what's the best book you've read so far this year? That is a good question. What have I read so far this year?
Mhm.
Let me think back. Okay. Definitely, it's God's Grave by Jay
Oh,
Kristoff. So
okay.
I started it in 2019 and finished it in 2020, so it counts. But I was like really late to the game with that series. But as soon as I read Nevernight, I dropped the rest of my TBR and read all three in a row. So that book was, how do I put this? It had representation I was really looking for in many aspects.
Mm.
And I really enjoyed that Jake Kristoff is not afraid to kill off people and keep them dead, which sounds horrible. But I love Brandon Sanderson a lot, but he
Mm.
tends to have like bring people back in a lot of his stories. And I really enjoyed Jake Kristoff's ability to shock me with that kind of thing and still keep me interested in the story. And I can understand why that series isn't everyone's favorite because of the footnotes and all of that. But the flowery writing and the snarky aspects of those books were just chef's kiss. And Ashlyn is the love of my life. So that book was Ashlyn's book, basically. So I would say for me, God's Grave is probably the best so far. Thank you for the question. Has anyone else read God's Grave? You can let me know in the comments. Or Sasha, what about you? Have you read Nevernight?
Yeah,
Wait.
it wasn't for me.
No, I respect
um,
that. I
like
respect that.
I love the writing style. I love the ideas, and as you said, dead people they stay dead. I
Mm,
love the footnotes. I really do.
mm,
The thing is that I have an issue with assassins, same as in Throne of Glass, and that's
mm,
the thing. Like the first one wasn't for me, but it was still 3 stars. The
mm,
sequel so was a 4 stars because I really enjoyed that it wasn't about being an assassin, it was acting. It was about acting and getting
mm-hmm.
things done. And the last one was
Yeah.
a bit meh for me, but still I would recommend that series because I know a lot of people would really enjoy it and I didn't hate it, but it wasn't for me.
Yeah, and I can definitely respect that. I have some hyped books that aren't for me
Mm,
either. So,
yeah.
oh,
She loved the
Never Night
Nevernight series.
series. Hey.
um Besides this, yeah. So she's actually a newbie. She just uploaded her first video, and
Oh,
now
welcome.
now a lot of people are having issue with YouTube because since we are quarantined, most in the countries, I know you
Mm,
are not,
yeah,
but there is no humans behind YouTube and only bots. And
I
sometimes
see.
they just decide to disable comments or to take down some live streams. It happened to a lot of booktubers this week, and with
Wow.
just no reasons because usually there are humans making choices and decisions, etc. But now it's all about bots. And whenever you
Uh,
complain about something, it's gonna take a while before a human behind YouTube helps you. So yeah,
I'm sorry to hear that, girl. I really hope they can fix it soon.
yeah,
Dang, I didn't. Clearly, I'm not in the loop. I didn't know that was a thing.
yeah.
Totally agree with Taylor. My channel's super small, but I love interacting with the community. Yes, girl. It's all about that interaction. From
Yeah.
one small booktuber to another.
I still need to read that series. I have the first book on my Kindle.
Well, if it's for you, you'll know in like 2 chapters. So you'll either be like, yes, or get this away from me, I think. So it's because it's very honest about what it is from the beginning, and that's something else I really like about it. So I
Mm.
really hope you enjoy it. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that the audiobook was full cast.
I didn't know that either. I See, I tend to stay away from fantasy audiobooks
Mm.
just because like I usually listen to them when I ride my bike and sometimes I'll daze out. And fantasy for me, if I miss something important, it really bothers me. But I did listen to parts of the Republic of Thieves from the Genuine Bastard series that also has a full cast, and I enjoyed it. So it kind of opened my eyes to it.
Mm.
So Have you ever done fantasy on audio?
Um, I read fantasy on audio, but the thing is that I will not listen to a fantasy since page one, like from page one. I'm gonna first
Okay.
some of the books here. For instance, this one. So the girl who drank the moon.
Mm.
I read all of this and then listen to that bit because I feel like
Ah.
when it's fantasy, you need to focus more to understand the world building and to understand, like, maybe not in middle grade but high fantasy especially, you need to understand
Mm.
everything, you need to focus, you need to, yeah, just basically understand everything. So I tend to start a book reading it and then sometimes finish it as an audiobook when I know what's going to happen, or I know the characters, or I know whatever. But
Right.
yeah.
I agree with you on that. Yeah. I don't remember what book it was, but there was a fantasy book I started from page one. Ah, The Gilded Wolves.
Oh,
And
okay.
I started that from page one on audio. I was like, this is not
No.
working. So I did switch to physical, but I think I learned my lesson with that as well. So I agree with
Mm.
you. The world building part should really be physical for me as well.
Yeah.
Big
I love listening
focus.
to audiobooks, but like, I don't know if you've listened to The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, for instance, or
I
how
haven't.
how to sleep or whatever. I love those kind of
Mm,
books as audiobooks,
mm,
because then you listen to something and it's not, you're not listening to a story, you just listening about how to improve your everyday life, or how to understand how sleep works, etc. So it's different.
yeah. Yeah, for me, I'd say thrillers. I listen to thrillers on
Oh.
audio book all the time. I love it. But when you're riding
Mm.
your bike at night, don't recommend that. I made that mistake a couple times.
Yeah,
But,
I only listen to audiobooks when it is a reread.
hmm, that's a
I do
solid
recommend
practice.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or short
New
books.
way. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Since English is not my first language, yeah, I sometimes
Hey!
struggle with audiobooks because then I can't do anything else but listen.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even as a native English speaker, like sometimes when I'm doing something else, I'll miss an entire chunk of the book and have to go back. So you're not alone there.
Especially when it's a full cast audiobook and sometimes there is a very strong, I don't know, Welsh accent or whatever, and you're just like,
Mm,
what did you just say?
right? Right. Was that English? I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
I was the exact opposite with the Gilded Wolves.
So you switched at the end. Yeah. Yeah. I overall that book was just not for me, I think. I think
Yeah.
it was pretty polarizing in general, but for me it just wasn't the one. But I hope you
Mm.
enjoyed it. Ernest, I can't read your name. You lovely person, you.
My favorite book is a free audiobook on Spotify, read by the author, and it was an amazing reread. Which was it a Dutch one as well? Because I know she reads a lot of Dutch books that are not
Uh,
available in English. So
mm.
yeah,
Well, I think that's great too to have a. Oh, I loved it. I
yeah,
see.
she
Oh,
loved the Gilded Wolves.
good for you. I'm really glad that brought you joy.
Yeah, it wasn't for me. Like, I think I rated it 3 stars,
Hmm.
but the thing I hate in the book community, like,
Yeah.
is when people are comparing a book to another book
Hmm.
before the book came out, and when you open that book, you just expect the same thing, or you expect
Yes.
something totally different, but only the only thing you can see is why it's similar and why it's not, and not like
Right.
giving you the opportunity to actually enjoy the book.
Right. Your expectations are like preset, and all you can
Yeah.
think about is like, oh, this isn't the same as this book, right?
No,
Yeah, I
because the
can agree
Gilded
with that.
Walls, I don't know if you remember that, but they compared it to Six of Crows. And
Yes.
Six of Crows is absolutely one of my favorite books. And when I started that
Amen.
one, I
Preach.
could see what was similar, but at the same time, it bothered me because it wasn't done the same way than in Six of Crows. And I was like, oh my gosh, no, no. And then I saw some Da Vinci Code in it. And I was like,
Mm.
okay, makes sense. But no, it's not supposed to be like this. And that was just so annoying. But that was my own fault. But again,
Right.
people don't compare books to other books.
Right. Well, I think the other thing too is obviously there were a lot of similarities. It was a
Mm.
heist, it was a group of misfits together, but it just the writing style is different, the setting is different. So I think if you were to say like an amazing heist story or something, that would grab just as many people, you know, but publishing likes to do that. The new
Yeah, but
Six of Crows or the new whatever.
yeah, but
Yeah.
they could do like if you like Six of Crows, you might like this one. Don't
Right.
compare. Don't say this is similar to. No, you might like this if you like this.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. But that makes sense. Why would people do
Yeah,
that?
yeah. It was a Dutch book,
mm.
sci-fi about people that have gray skin and gray hair because of a medical
Mm.
fault. Oh,
It's about a
multimedia.
girl who's radicalized and also multimedia. Hey. That sounds really unique.
Yeah, makes me think of the Illuminate files with the
I haven't read that
multimedia.
one.
No, okay.
No. Yeah. I mean, so as someone who loves Nevernight as much as I do, that is the only like J. Kristoff book I've read. So I haven't read Aurora Rising or Illuminate or any of that. So
Okay, I recommend Aurora Rising and Lifelike.
lifelike. Okay. I'll read the subtext there. All right.
No, I love the Illuminate. I love the
mm-hmm.
first book because it's really
mm,
different from what I've read in sci-fi, multimedia kind of thing. When you're
mm,
gonna read like an email, then a chat, then you're gonna read some files, etc. So it's really interesting. It's really well done.
mm,
But
mm.
once you've read the first one, the second one and the third book were exactly the same. So I wasn't
I
as
see. I see.
much in it as in the first one. But I will still recommend if you're
Mm,
looking for something very easy to read and it's fast paced,
mm.
etc. But don't expect all three books to be amazing. I mean, in my point of view.
Yeah, yeah, no, and you know that I'm not sensitive that way. We've talked about this,
Mm,
so you know you don't have to put
yeah.
disclaimers. But actually, that's in my. You know, I said the retro reads book challenge I'm doing, where I pull an old book out of a cup.
Mm.
Illuminate's on there, so maybe I'll get to tell you what I think too. Maybe
I
check
love
that.
Illuminate Files, my fave series. One off. Name
All
the
right.
others.
So yeah, let's hear. Let's hear.
And here, yeah,
Oh,
loved it. A lot of people actually loved it. So yeah.
looking good for when I get to read it.
Yeah, the cool thing about Concept M is that the writer is also a singer and she made an album in the same universe and about similar subjects. Oh,
Huh? So
that's
you
unique.
can listen and read at the same time. I dig that as a music lover.
Yeah.
So maybe we should talk about owls a little more. Let me see that thing over
Yes,
there.
go ahead.
Let's see. What else have I read? Oh, I don't have it physically, but the other
Mm,
one, sorry, I just remembered, so surprise. No, the other one I read was audio, and it was A Man Called Ove
okay.
by Frederick Bachman, I think. I don't know if you've heard of him, but
No.
we're both not contemporary people. But he is one of the only contemporary readers that I would recommend to anyone.
Hmm.
I read his. I pardon my ignorance, but I forget what country he's from. But it's
Mhm.
not an English speaking country, so they're translated works. But the first book I read from him was Beartown, and he tends to do hard hitting contemporaries. So Beartown is about a small town whose main focus is hockey. That's all they
Mhm.
kind of live and breathe is hockey. And then the star hockey player rapes a girl, and the girl accuses him of it openly in public. So it's kind of about the fallout about that and different reactions. And what I love the most about his books is he makes you sympathize with every single character because
Oh,
it's not written with an agenda. So even the young boy who commits this crime, you're kind of like, wait a minute, I see your point of view. So he does an incredible job with that type of stuff. So a man called Ove is
okay.
about like a crotchety old man who basically is grumpy and if you met him in person, you would not like him, basically. But throughout the series of the book, by the end, you want nothing but the world for him in the way that he writes. So his character development and the way that he makes you feel for the characters through storytelling is just, again, chef's kiss. So
Sounds
I
amazing.
I listened to it on an audiobook and I was like sobbing, like crying on my bike ride home with the audiobook. And people were looking at me like, is this chick all right? Like, does she need
Mm,
help? So bring tissues, but
okay.
highly recommend.
He's Swedish, apparently.
Swedish. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, I said
Thank you.
Swedish. Swedish.
That's okay. That's right. Thank you for
Yeah.
that.
Finished Cinder yesterday. I love that
Oh.
series.
Yeah, I read it later than everyone else, but it was fun. Definitely fun.
Have you read the entire series or?
Yes. Yeah, the library here in Japan actually had it. So I
Oh,
picked that up and read it. Yeah, that was a nice surprise. So,
yes. I need to finish it. I've read the three first books. I need to
mm,
There is only one left and one novella, I think.
mm. I think he's from Sweden. I've read 3 of his books, and every one of them is beautifully written. Yeah, I'm only 2 in, but I'm at the point where I'll collect them all. So,
Yeah.
sure.
Oh, see? So many people know that book, actually. I really liked A Man Called
Uh,
Ove.
yeah, if you liked A Man Called Ove, I think you're going to like Beartown. It's similarly heavy issues. So, highly recommend it. I haven't read any others by him, but basically all of his works are on my TBR. So if anyone would recommend other ones to read first, please let us know. This side. This side.
um, how did your readathon go? So I
Yeah,
don't know if
tell us.
did you do the readathon yesterday?
I did not, but after you told me you were doing it, I Googled it.
During the 24 hours yesterday, what did I? Okay, so I finished that one.
Hmm.
I finished that one as well that I've already shown you.
Hmm.
What else? I finished. Oh, okay. Next book for the owls. This one was for Charms. So this is a sequel to A Natural History of Dragons. Gave it 5 stars just because it is amazing.
Eh, I know
um,
we talked about this in comments, so I'm so intrigued.
yeah, it's amazing. Don't check people's review on Goodreads. I almost cried reading them because everyone was expecting a fast-paced story with a lot of dragons everywhere, but it's not about that. It's historical fiction and it has dragons in it, but the girl is actually, she wants to become a naturalist. So she wants to study dragons. If
Hmm.
someone wants to study a certain species, you have to guess that's because they don't know about it, or it's not everywhere, or it's maybe dangerous, or whatever. So
Hmm.
it's really interesting to see how a woman back in the days had no choices, they had no specific future, except for being a good wife and a good mom and whatever. And
Hmm.
everything she does in order to achieve that dream just inspired me. Like it's just amazing. And the thing is that when I read that book, like the first one,
Hmm.
it's written in a way that the main character is kind of sassy, and sometimes she's going to say something and she's going to be like, yeah, this is my memoir, I'm very old today, I can say those kind of things, you cannot.
Huh.
And
Oh.
it's just funny. I don't know, I really
So
love that one.
So it kind
Yeah.
of has a retrospective aspect to it, like her thinking back on her previous actions as
um
well, or is it just in
yeah,
real time?
yeah, no,
Oh,
it's
okay.
not real time. So
Mm-mm-mm.
you are aware that it is a memoir, and she's like, yeah,
Mm-mm.
at that point I thought I would be dead, I would die, etc. But of course, if you're reading my memoir, it means that I'm alive. So
Right, right.
that's maybe what bothered people. I don't know, maybe if you're
Mm.
not like into memoir kind of thing. But yeah. And the last one I've read yesterday is
Mm.
this one, Blood Hair. So this is not for my owls, of course. I
That
give
cover
it,
though.
yeah, it's an amazing cover, and it is an Anastasia retelling, which I'm a sucker for. But I gave it two
Anastasia?
stars.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, you just crushed
So
my soul live.
I mean, I still finished it because I couldn't believe that any Anastasia retelling could turn bad. But
Mm,
the thing is that, again, if I had read that book like 10 years ago, maybe I would have loved it. But it's a new
mm,
release. Like, I think when it came out like last year, I think.
okay.
But all the characters, they only have like one layer kind of thing. They're not deep
Mm,
enough to make you believe that they could be real. And like,
mm,
of course, there is some kind of drama. Her family died. She's like on the run, kind of thing, and she wants revenge. So she's gonna get that revenge. She's gonna do everything she needs to get to the people who killed her family.
mm.
And she believes that she's a warrior. She's so strong, etc. But nothing she does shows you that. Like
Oh, I
she's gonna
hate
make
that.
decisions, or she's gonna act away, or she's gonna say something that doesn't match the description she has of herself. And that
Mm,
bothered
mm,
me
mm.
so much because you can be a badass, you can
Yeah.
be capable of 100 things, but just make sense. And I will believe you.
Right. Right.
So,
Well,
yeah.
I'm about to maybe ruffle a couple feathers, but the way you just described that is one of the reasons why I love Nevernight and was not a fan of Throne of Glass.
Yeah.
Because Throne of Glass had those same issues for me, where it was
Yep.
like, you're telling me how much of a badass you are, but I've seen none of it. So for me, I'm the same way. Show me, don't tell me. Kind of thing.
Yeah, there is a scene in Throne of Glass. I don't know if it is Throne of Glass or maybe yeah, it is in Throne of Glass when she's in her room. So the main character, Aileen, I forgot what's her name again.
I think her name is Aileen. Is if
And
that's how you pronounce it,
yeah,
but
and
I don't
she's
know.
in her room and she finds candies on her bed. And the
Hmm.
first things she does is actually eating those candies. And I'm like,
Right.
people are trying to kill everyone and you're eating candies you just found on your bed. I'm
Found on
like,
your bed.
you don't make sense, girl.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. So even though I haven't read Blood Air. What you just said seems like kind of a deal breaker for me as well.
Yeah.
Don't be
Um,
eating those candies. Let me see. Anything else? I think those are the ones that I have finished reading, or I'm in. We have some
okay.
comments. Let's do these first.
I'm up for a buddy read of Winter. So Winter is the last book in the Luna Chronicle series, right?
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
up for it.
it.
Yeah, we can buddy read it. But next month.
Mm-mm.
This month, I'm kind of full with the owls.
Someone picked
Um,
12 books.
yeah, I don't know. I love that series. It's one of my favorite series of all time. I'm not sure which series it. Oh, the Luna Chronicles, right?
Lunar Chronicles, I'm assuming. Yeah, because
Mm,
if we look at the thread, yeah.
yeah. And then sounds kind of funny actually in memoir format. Yeah, it's actually I don't know. It is an interesting point of view because the character can tell you, "Oh, I did that. I was so stupid. Why did I do that? What was I
Mm,
thinking?" And that's actually it's like the reader commenting on what the character did, but that's actually the character commenting on what she does. And
mm.
it just, I mean, I love it.
Yeah, I mean, it can be kind of like your inner monologue,
Yeah.
out loud, which is nice. What else? Let's see. So the stuff that I haven't finished for the owls, I can just go over. I can't do a review, but if
Hmm.
clearly I'm a small channel, I'm new, so you probably haven't seen my owls video, so I can talk about what else I'm planning to read. For those of you who, I think most of the people here were here in the beginning of the chat, but I live in Japan, so I speak Japanese quite well, I would say. But my reading is not quite at the speaking level, the same as my speaking level. So I'm working on leveling that up. So one of the books is a Japanese manga, but in Japanese. So my light is blowing it out. But it's called Tomo-chan wa Ononoko. which means she is a girl. Tomo-chan is a girl, and so it's like a romantic comedy. So as you and I talked about before, we're not really comedic or like what's the word I'm looking for?
Contemporary
Contemporary.
romance.
Thank you, readers so much. And I agree with that in novel form, but for some reason in manga form, I love it. So this is quite short, and it's kind of like a slapstick comedy, as you can see on the back. So the idea is this girl confesses her love to this guy, and they've been friends since childhood. But he friend zones her immediately, basically, and says, "Oh, I love you too, as a best friend." And she's
Oh.
like, "Wait a minute." Yeah. So that's on page 1. And so there are 8 volumes, and it's kind of the development of their story. I'm really excited to get to this. Even though it's short, because it's Japanese, it's going to take me a minute, so we'll see if I finish it. But this is definitely one I'm excited for.
Sounds super
So,
cute.
yeah, it's just, I think, feel good. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
And then the last one that was just on Owls is not lighthearted, but that is Difficult Women by Roxane
Okay.
Gay. Oh, not my last one. I have another one. Sorry, guys. But this is a short story collection. I'm assuming about difficult women. I read another book by Roxane Gay that was not that bad, and it was about rape culture. So it's not a story, but it's people's stories collected together. So she curates the collection of stories. So she's kind of hard hitting, not even contemporary, but real world stories. So if you can't tell from Frederick Bachman and things like this, I like hard hitting stuff if I read real world. So I'm going to pick this up, but this is next on my list as well. Have you read any Roxane Gay or heard of her?
Me, no. And you guys?
Yeah, maybe not.
Hmm. There is a
Oh,
question for you.
okay.
What is your
What's your
Goodreads goal?
So this year, 80 books. Last year I went for 100, didn't make it, so I lowered that goal. I'm sure as a fellow fantasy reader, you can understand this, but when your books are typically, over 600 pages, it take a long time, at least for me. So
Mm.
80 this year. I'm doing. I think it's my first time I've ever been on track, so that's a good sign. What about
Yeah.
you, Sasha? What's your goal?
Same, 80 books. So
Yeah.
we'll see. Last year I've read like 97 books. 97, I
Mm.
think. Yeah. So I could have gone with 100, but I just don't want to pressure myself that much, even if 80 is already a lot. But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
What about you
I
guys?
I read
Go ahead.
Bad Feminist last month. It was okay. Is it from the same author?
Roxane Gay. I think so. Yes.
Okay.
So she has books. It was okay. All right. That's a good thing to look at. I haven't. From what I understand, Bad Feminist is actually written by Roxane Gay,
Oh,
whereas this one and the other one, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but this one and the other one are anthologies that she kind of curated. So maybe it's a bit different.
I don't know. I'm going to the bookstore now. Bye bye. I will subscribe to your channel, Taylor. Really loved seeing your faces.
Thank you so much. You just made my entire day. Oh my God. Buy some good books at the bookstore, okay? Do
Yeah.
a haul. I'll watch your haul.
Oh my god. Oh, but lucky you that the bookstore is actually open.
Oh, right. Right. So, in a lot of
Yeah.
places, I guess, like you mentioned earlier, Japan's not locked down. So, in your
No.
area, are the bookstores all closed?
Here, everything is closed. The only thing that's open is like where you can buy food, etc. That's the only thing that's open here, and
Mm.
drugstores. So
Okay.
groceries and drugstores. That's it. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Bad Feminist is a collection of essays.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. I'll
Mm.
check it out. I'll put it on the list.
So you had one more book to show us that you still need to read,
uh,
right?
yes, but, well, I just
It's
realized it's
somewhere.
kind of hard to get, but I can move my hydrocultures. So this is my Brandon Sanderson collection here, and at the bottom,
No.
in case you don't know, um, Arcanum Unbounded at the bottom here is his short story collection. So I don't know how many people in this chat room are Brandon Sanderson fans, but he writes in a universe called the Cosmere, and the Cosmere includes multiple different worlds, and a lot of his books are on different worlds inside the Cosmere. And this book is a short story collection that has stories from all the different worlds. So I've just last year finished reading all of his Cosmere. So actually, that's a lie. This year, I finished reading his Cosmere. So I think it's finally safe for me to read the collection. So we'll see if I get to it. Not looking so good so far, but we'll see.
Well, mostly buy books for Believathon, but not buying a lot, just a treat for finish my exam. Oh, congrats! I hope
Yeah,
everything went well.
congratulations. Yeah, me too.
And there is another one. Yeah, bookstores closed in US. Yeah.
I wonder, is there, I mean, I've seen just on a couple of vlogs like pickup options. Like you can just go and pick
Oh,
up a book and take it
here you
home. So I
cannot
wonder,
anymore. Yeah.
really, it's been shut down? Man.
Yeah. I haven't read Sanderson, but I probably will start with Skyward because that's the only book I own. I actually started with Skyward
Eh.
last year and loved it. It was a 5 stars for
Mm,
me. I started that book. It's a huge book, but the font is quite big. And I
mm,
read that book in no time. I did for my owls last
yes.
year, and I just loved everything about it. So I have the sequel I still need to read, and I
Mm,
have the Final Empire three first books. I'm not
yeah.
sure how that works because apparently this is the first part of of a series or whatever. But I really want to get to
Yeah.
that series this year.
Mm,
But
mm, mm.
yeah, I'm scared because huge books, but I definitely want to read them.
You're asking the right person, clearly.
Yeah, I know.
But but I think that Skyward is a really good place to start. That's a good choice. It is sci-fi, not fantasy, but it does have the what people call the Brandon Sanderson essence.
Mm,
Um, and I did, obviously, as you can see behind me, I also have Starsight, and I'm really excited for you to read it to see what you think about it. Skyward is extremely readable, right? And it's very fast paced and the characters are well developed, whereas Starsight kind of takes its time in expanding the world. So for some people, that was a bit jarring, myself included. But I'd love to know what you think about it. But just for starting with it is totally fine.
yeah.
Mistborn. Mistborn is set up like the first three books are Era 1.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like the thick boys, and they come in the box set. And then there's Era 2, which are the thinner ones, and there's no box set for those. But Era 1 is the starting point, and then the end of those books kind of sets up a new environment, basically.
Okay.
I'm trying to choose my words carefully.
Yeah.
It sets up a new environment, and then the second era is a long time later. So it involves a lot of
Yeah.
technological developments interwoven with the same magic system. And
Mm-hmm.
then he's planning a third era, like space era, basically. Um,
Yeah.
so a lot of people love Era 1, and I do too. I love it. But Era 2, I like Era 2 better, which
Oh.
almost no one agrees with me on. So,
Yeah.
but I think it's going to be really enjoyable when you pick it up. I'm excited.
I think I'm gonna love it, but I'm more a sci-fi person than a fantasy, so I wanted to try
Mm,
that sci-fi book by Brandon Sanderson, like ASAP. And
yeah,
I
yeah.
really feel like that's a good way to start in sci-fi if you knew the
Mm,
sci-fi, because it was really
mm,
understand to. I know a lot of people prefer fantasy to sci-fi because they're scared they're not gonna understand
mm.
sci-fi, but here it was very understandable. Like nothing was like complicated, I feel.
Yeah, even like I didn't think I would be into like spaceship fight scenes. I was on
Hmm.
the edge of my seat. They were written so well. So,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, Skyward was amazing. 5 stars. Read it in
Absolutely.
one day. Have you read the
Yep.
sequel though?
Me or Gryffindor
No,
Bookworm?
no, Gryffindor Bookworm. You
Okay,
read it.
yeah. Yeah. I was just
I listened to you, you know?
my bad, girl. My bad. I won't question.
It's okay. Yeah.
Uh,
No, but Brandon
yeah.
Sanderson is like a very well-known author, and I know a lot
Mm,
of people are actually scared to start his books because there
yeah.
are just so many. But I
Right.
definitely like. I think he's worth everyone's time.
I think so too. And I started with the Stormlight Archive. I started with these massive
Mm,
tomes, and because in my library in Japan, I was just browsing and someone had requested that book, The Way of Kings. So I
mm,
just picked it up and that's how I discovered him. So, um, you know, people kind of talk about the same books as an entry point, but you can enter anywhere. It
mm,
just depends on the type of reader you are. So if you're a sci-fi reader, Skyward's fine. If you
yeah,
are new to fantasy, Mistborn is good. So it just depends, really.
yeah.
But
Now you're saying
yeah,
that you can enter the way you want, like by which book you want. But have you read Lee Bardugo's work? You've read
yes,
Six of Crows, right?
yes,
Have you read the
yeah,
other series?
yeah. This is a really intriguing question. So I I started with the Six of Crows duology, and in the
Same.
beginning, I was like, "What the hell is happening?" But after that moment, I fell in love with it, and then I was like, "Well, let me read the Grisha trilogy to fill in the holes." Not a good order. Mm-mm, mm-mm. I
Yeah.
I barely did not DNF that series.
Mm.
Basically, I wanted to fill in the holes for Six of Crows, so I pushed through. But um, yeah, you can see she developed her writing. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. The reason why I loved the Grishaverse so much, like putting
Hmm.
this here because I didn't love it, but it's because I read all three books in 24 hours. I was like, I need to
Mm.
read them now or I will never
Wow,
read them. Yeah.
that's
And
impressive.
and that's how after that I was like, okay, I'm never rereading that series because I now understand what I didn't understand in Six of Crows.
Mm-mm.
But this is the beginning of Lee Bardugo. That's fine.
Right.
But
You just have to look at it like
I don't
that.
know how I feel about that. Like, in order to read her latest book, not Ninth House, the one before, King of Scars, you need to read
Mm.
all five other books before. And I'm just like, that's scary for people who haven't read the series before. You need to read five books before picking up a new one in
Right.
the series. That's, I don't know.
I feel like Cassandra Clare is the same, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
that's more than five. That's like 1,000. you
Yeah.
know.
Have you read all
So
of her books?
no, I did read the Mortal Instruments when I was a teeny bopper. So I don't remember details, but I did read that, and I read the Infernal Devices,
Mm-hmm.
and then I did Lady Midnight, and then I stopped. And
Mm.
so there's been a lot of the novellas and new branches from there. I'm behind. I have a lot of page count if I want to catch up.
Yeah.
What about you?
So I buddy read the three first books in the Mortal Instruments series, and then the
Mm,
two first one in the Infernal Devices, and I gave
mm,
up.
yeah.
Like I wasn't enjoying
Mm,
um, because like I love when I can feel connected to the characters, and it just wasn't the case for me.
yeah.
And so I was reading it. I was not hating it, but I was only seeing what was wrong with it, what I didn't like. And the only reason why I read five books of hers is because I was buddy reading them. But
Mm.
that's not again 10 years ago, maybe now, no.
Yeah, I think like we talked about, missing the train with Percy
Yeah.
Jackson or Harry Potter, it's the same kind of thing. I'm sure if I read the Mortal Instruments, well, I did read the Mortal Instruments when they were supposed
Mm,
to be read. And I remember really enjoying those. I ate those up. So I think, if you grow with the series, Cassandra Clare seems to be developing her worlds as far as I've read and making them more
yeah.
complicated. So if you grew up with it, it's fine. But I think if you start from the beginning late, it's going to be
Yeah.
hard to get to that point. you know.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, she read Starsight
Ooh,
and loved it. Definitely a lot more world building, like you said. Love the new characters introduced, which is hard sometimes in a sequel, but he did it so well. I'm ready for the next one. Oh, okay, this is a trilogy. I didn't know.
yes, not a duology. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't
He
know
likes
that.
to write in trilogies.
I've read only the Grisha trilogy by Lee Bardugo, and I actually liked it. I didn't know that to
Mm,
expect because a lot of people say bad things about it. I mean, it's just that a lot of people said bad things about it because they first read the Six of Crows duology and then they read
right.
the Grishaverse. But people who actually started with the Grishaverse loved it. And
Mm,
so I think it's the same thing as we were talking before, like comparing a book to another. Here, from the same author, comparing a series to another. That's also
mm.
like hard for the author.
I think that's a really good point. And you have to give, authors a chance to grow, right? So if you
Yeah.
go backwards, of course, it's going to be a little different. So,
I read first trilogy. Okay, the one that started with City of Bones. I think I
mm,
enjoyed it, but I'm not really interested in the others. Yeah, you
mm,
missed the trains like me.
yeah, I feel you
Yeah,
on that. As someone who loves special editions, usually I feel this really strong desire to collect them, but I don't feel any desire to do that with Cassandra Clare books. So I
yeah,
feel like I'll leave that to people who really really enjoy it.
yeah. Okay, so I have two more
Mm.
books that I've read for the owls.
All right, go for it.
For
Tell me.
astronomy. So
Mm.
astronomy, we needed to read that book at night. I've read Tokyo Ghoul.
Yes.
I really loved it. I gave it four
Mm.
stars. The only reason why I didn't give it 5 stars is because I don't know how come the human and the ghoul got together. Like how
Mm.
come they're living together? So that's maybe I will see further in the series kind of thing. But I really enjoyed it. So
Mm.
that's good. You've read it, right?
I haven't read
No,
it
watched
in
it.
I've
Oh,
watched it, right, right. So I haven't read it yet, but I've watched it, and it's one of those things that I think is worth the hype,
yeah,
personally. Yeah, yeah,
I agree. I agree.
yeah.
And then the next one, it was for potions. This is one
Mm.
week in the library. Very short and
Interesting.
gorgeous comic or graphic novel, depending on
Mm.
your, what you use. But I gave that book first 5 stars.
Mm.
And then I used the Copilot system created by G, and then it lowered to 4 stars, but it's still like 4.7, like not five
Okay.
stars,
Wow.
but high 4 stars. Then I went on Goodreads to check everyone's review. Everyone trashed that book.
Oh
Everyone. I was like so shocked because this is basically one week in the library. Like you have the main
no. Mm.
character, he starts talking about what's happening on Thursday and he finishes with what's happening on usually like on Wednesdays. And that's one week in the
Mm.
library and every day is different. And I really enjoyed it because I wasn't expecting anything. And the art, I mean, I find it gorgeous, etc. The way it
Mm.
ended took me by surprise, and that's all I needed. Like I'm not gonna wait more from that short. Like it's not even
Right.
100
Right.
pages. It's very very short. So I really enjoyed it, but people actually trashed it.
Oh
So
no.
yeah, it
Well,
happens,
it's
I
all
guess.
about personal enjoyment, right? So,
Yeah,
and that's
I
why I think
guess.
it's important to not check reviews until after you read. It might be tempting, but if you're able to, like if you're picking up a book on a whim and you already
Mm,
have it, I would suggest reading it before reviews. Obviously, if you hear a review and that makes you pick up a book, that's different. But
yeah.
you know,
Okay, so you never didn't read a book because someone told you not to?
yeah, I never said that. um, there are a couple books that come to mind when I say that, but I guess I didn't read the books because I was told not to read them. But maybe if I had read them without that input, I could have enjoyed it. But I'll never know. because I've
Yeah.
decided to take them off my TBR. So, and it could be saving your time,
Mm-hmm.
not wasting your time. So there's two ways to look at it. But in my opinion, if you have a physical book and you're intending to read it, backing off from reviews can be a good
Mm-hmm.
practice to
Yeah.
not color, yeah, ahead of time. So
Yeah.
I'm
That's
sure
fair
the
enough.
author will be grateful for your rating.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how many people like they trusted. They said that the author tried to be smart, but
Hmm.
didn't make his point, and I'm just like, I don't
Not
see
how
it.
I felt. Yeah.
But yeah, but it's different for everyone. Like, I'm not like a big comic reader, so maybe that's why I enjoyed it. But
Hmm.
I
Different
don't
medium.
know. Yeah, I don't know.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Okay.
I still have 5 books I haven't read. I don't know how that's gonna go.
Yeah. Yeah, I've still got The Name of the Wind, this chunker. So I am 57 pages in
Yeah,
on the day of our Lord, 419.
yeah.
So I still have 21 days. But I have this to read and then the Difficult Women and the manga in Japanese. So we'll see the rest of Starless Sea as well. But we've got some time.
Yeah, we got like today is the 19, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have like
So
a bit less than 2
11
weeks,
days?
but yeah,
Ish. Well,
could be hard.
thanks everyone for joining us. Yeah.
Yay. Someone said I DNF
Yay!
Shadow and Bone twice until I read it finally after a year. And did you like it?
Yeah, that's what's the final result here, Third time's a charm. Did you enjoy
Yeah.
it?
Hey, I
Curious to
have 2
hear.
mangas left. That
Oh, please tell
I
me.
I just want to know, like, I'm not going to show you all the books, but just these. Have
Hmm.
you read these? So it's Children of the Whales and Solanine. No?
Solanine I haven't, but Children
Okay.
of the Whales I've heard of. Yeah. I
Okay. So
haven't
you
read
have.
it, but I've heard of it.
Okay.
Yeah, atmospheric is what I heard.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
From what I heard, but
Because basically all my mangas recommendations, I get them from Katerina. I don't know if you know her, Katerina the Bookworm. And she's really into mangas. And all the books I mean, all the mangas I've read got are her recommendations. So,
well, let me just take a minute. My boyfriend's over here. Let me just ask him
yeah.
for 1 second. ねえねえ、ハヤト、ここ来て。クジラの子供読んだ？怪獣の子供。いやいやいや、おすすめ、二人のおすすめじゃなかったら、新しいの。読んだことあるみたいな感じ。クジラの子供？ない。ない？ OK。で、what was the second one? So, Children of the Whale and
Solanine.
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 Solanine. Solanine. I don't want to.
Okay. Solanine. No.
No,
Huh? Wait. Can you put it up one more time so you can just see the cover real quick?
I don't know that.
No, he doesn't know either of them either. So I hope they're good, but he doesn't know them.
Apparently, so this one I don't know anything about, so Children of the Whales. But this one apparently is a contemporary type of manga of a girl who's learning how to live a normal life. Like she has a job she hates. Her boyfriend is constantly crashing out her apartment because his job as a freelancer illustrator doesn't pay enough for rent. And yeah, Meiko struggles with the feeling that she's just not cut out to be a part of the real world. And she said that this is actually 2 volumes. So that's why it's.
I was about to say that's big.
Yeah, that's 2 volumes. And she was like, I know you don't like contemporaries, but this one is just heartbreaking. And I'm just like, am I ready for it? Of course not, but I will be at one point. But yeah.
Isn't that interesting when you pick up oh, go ahead.
I wish I spoke another language. Yeah.
You
especially
can.
Japanese. That's so hard.
Girl, you speak like 5, all right?
Yeah, but not the same. They're all like Latin. You know what I mean? Like they have the same alphabet. You don't.
It's true, and I'm definitely not fluent, but we're working on it. And I mean, girl, if you want to, you can.
True.
For sure. um,
I
I just
forgot
saw
what you were saying. I just read the manga I Hear Sunspot by Yuki Fumino for the stay-at-home reading rush. I don't know that one.
I hear Sunspot. I don't know that one either. I'm sure it has a different Japanese name, so I could ask, but I'm not sure what the translation would be. But it sounds whimsical. Sunspot, starlight, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But, what was I saying? I don't remember either.
It was about Solanin being heartbreaking.
Right. So it's like when you pick up a book that you know is going to break your heart and you read it anyway. It's just such an interesting read. Whenever I pick up the Frederick Bachman books, that's how I feel. I'm like, oh, this book's going to make me cry, but I'm going to read it anyway. Or a lot of people read A Little Life and they know they're going to be like crying their eyes out. So you just have to be ready, I think.
Yeah. Sasha, let me know when you are going to read it. Yeah, because with Dana, we're going to buddy read this one. So that could be interesting because I've never buddy read a manga. So that's going to be fun. But yeah, Children of the Whale, I mean, yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, clarification.
But yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Wow, we talked for 1 hour and 36 minutes.
Seriously, I didn't expect that to happen. This is so natural. Again, thank you so much for hosting, Sasha. This is wonderful.
Thank you for being a part of it. Your first live, me first time hosting a live, so that's amazing.
I think it went pretty smooth, all things considered. And thank you everyone for joining, really. It means so much.
Like, if you have any more
questions.
My
heart is so happy.
Oh, mine too. I wasn't expecting that, so I'm really happy.
Right. Yeah. But I agree with Sasha this way. If you have any more questions, you can ask them now before we get off. But I'm happy to answer anything.
Do you expect any of the books you're going to read now this month to be a 5 stars?
That's a really good question. I would say the manga, Tomo-chan wa Ononoko, the one, I think that one would be 5 stars because I'm in the mood for it. But other than that, I want the Name of the Wind to be 5 stars. Yeah. I want it to be.
I mean, I haven't read it, but yeah.
Because it's so, again, overhyped, I wonder if my expectations are too high. But I would kind of go for that. What about you? Do you have any expectations? You had 1 5 star so far, but
I hope this one's going to be a 5 stars. Middle Game by Shannon Maguire, just because it is Shannon Maguire.
Yeah.
Everyone, you have to read the Wayward Children series. Every Heart a Doorway.
I agree. Wayward Children, almost all 5 stars. Middle Game, a miss for me. I really hope you like it. I really hope you like it.
Oh my gosh, you just crushed me.
You know what? You may adore it, and I'd be happy for you. But I listened to it on audio, and it just wasn't it. But Wayward Children.
You listened to an audiobook when you said that you were not listening to audio. I mean, fantasy audio.
That's fair. I'll take that criticism. I'll take that. How about this? I'll make you a deal. If you love it, I'll try to reread it physically, just for you.
We can say that then. But yeah. Oh, I don't know. I expect so much from this book.
It has Shannon Maguire's feel all over it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Otherworldly. 100%. Yeah.
Oh, someone has... So, she bought Nevermore, which is a book I have on my TBR. I mean, regular TBR. I would love to read that one.
Yeah,
have you read it?
By the way. No, I haven't. I've seen a lot about it, though, but I haven't. Is that's a middle grade, right?
Yep. It was compared to Harry Potter, but just as we said
Don't believe
before,
it.
yeah, read a book, not because to what it's compared to. And someone has a question for you. Do you know the author Karakemuri? I don't know how you
Oh, I
pronounce.
love that. I love that arvo. Karakara kemuri? Karakara kemuri? I'm not sure, but I can ask. Hold on, someone else who knows more than me. でね、ハヤト、カラカラ煙わかる？漫画作る人。カラカラ煙。
カラカラ煙。
わからん？
No, I don't know.
No! Girl, you know so many interesting manga things. I love that. No, I don't know. What do they write? What are some of their famous series? I'd love to know. But
How do you say the R in Japanese? It's not R, it's
it's okay. So R is a mix of R and L. So they don't have R and they don't have L. So
Okay.
it's like a tap sound. So if you say the word ladder, the D sound in ladder, that's really close to the R sound in Japanese.
oh,
So it's kind of like
I cannot breathe.
that's right. That's right. みんな早く口して。お願いします。漢字ある。漢字ある。
Kenji, I got that.
Yeah. 笑う。
煉獄に笑う。
煉獄読めなかったけど。
煉獄に笑う。
漫画の名前
Interesting. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, he doesn't know it. That's so interesting. Is there a way for me to screenshot that or copy that?
I remember.
Ah, okay. Well, never mind. Hayato will remember it.
What was that?
煉獄に笑う。
I remember.
Okay.
What was
Thank
that?
you. Thank you. 煉獄に笑う. Okay, we'll remember that.
And in English, it is
煉獄なんていうかな。笑う is laughter.
okay.
煉獄は。
煉獄は、
Do I really want to be a translator? Clearly, I'm struggling.
The first letter means kind of fire, big fire, and then Goku means
Mm-hmm.
heaven.
Heaven.
Heaven じゃない、ごめん。
So hell.
It's hell.
Oh, hell
Oh.
laughter.
うん。
Kind of.
に笑うだから、they laugh
At.
at the place.
Laughing at hell or laughing at maybe misfortune or something like that.
That's interesting
So.
to see how you don't say hell, but fire heaven or whatever.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of translation involved. So I appreciate that. This was an exercise for me in my reading skills. So
Yeah.
we'll remember that.
Interesting.
Okay.
But yeah,
Yeah.
time to wrap up this
Head out, I
video.
think. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of the beginning of your day, so you got to get going. But
The beginning, it's 2 p.m. I mean, it's almost 2 p.m. So I already got stuff done in the morning. But yeah.
oh, good for you.
So it's
Maybe
almost,
I'm lazy and I wake up late.
No, but it's almost 9 for you, right?
Yeah, I got to do a couple things before bed. But just one more time, thank you everyone for coming. Thank you so much, Sasha, for hosting. I'd love to do this again. Maybe we
Yeah,
can check
definitely.
in later.
Yeah, we can
yeah.
do that. But yeah, thank you
Absolutely.
everyone. And it was a
Yeah.
pleasure talking to you, talking books as usual, and random facts, also very interesting. But yeah,
All around.
and I love the
Yeah.
fact that it is that kind of time. So it's early for me, but people from Australia can actually join us because they can never join us. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just nice to see people from all over the world. Just,
Yeah.
again, warms my heart. So,
Yeah, what we can do with internet.
right. All right,
Thank you.
well.
No, I will do my yoga. Enjoy your yoga. Thank
Yeah.
you too. Thank you.
Yay.
And he wrote this. Okay.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Okay.
Same one. Same one.
Ah,
It's
okay.
the same one. So.
Okay. She said they're really good. And then just cut the end. Yeah. But thank you for joining us at the
Yeah,
end.
thanks for joining. Yeah.
It's going to be available on my channel, so you can Watch it anytime. And Dana says,
Mm-mm.
I read them in German though. Okay.
Wow. All right.
But yeah, well,
All right.
everyone, thank you
Yeah,
and
thank you
stay safe,
guys.
enjoy,
Mm.
read books, and take
Yeah.
care.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see you guys in a later stream, I'm sure.
Yeah, we will.
Bye.
Bye.